So, what I'm going to share today came from something very personal experience our family had a few years ago. And so, as I walk you through the solution, you can see the proof of concept that you can take it forward, especially individuals and families who and entrepreneurs in pet industry who are very much into building solutions for pet care. Little background on it, where it all came from. So the day was October 19, 2020. And what we realized actually, so we had a dog, Neo, that Neo was our first dog that our family had. And we noticed something different with him. He was going through something that was unusual. He was very lethargic, out of energy, not eating much, and he was just sleeping a lot. Very unusual for the dog, who was just 2.5 years old. We took him to emergency. It was COVID time, and the doctor evaluated him, ran some tests, did X-rays and MRIs, followed by CT scan. So multiple tests. So it took us almost a day. And what they came up with was they said he has a congenital liver disorder, which remained undiagnosed for the long time. And it just started to show up now. So what happens in that scenario? His liver wasn't getting blood, and over time, his liver shrunk. So in X-rays and the CT scan and MRI, which were done, his liver was not even showing. So they said it's pretty concerning, and they referred us to another hospital, which was about an hour away. Well, as you could tell, if you're a pet lover, dog lover, it's we all know means pets they don't have a long life, and but when it happens so soon, especially when the dog is so young, it's concerning. I mean, it was a big disbelief for all of us. What didn't help much either. It was COVID time. We were in COVID protocol, and we were not allowed in the hospital. So everything we were doing, we were sitting outside the hospital. So it started with me and my wife, who were driving around with Neo, and he was off. He stopped responding at that point. So we took him to the hospital, where they did the X-rays and everything, and they referred us to other hospital, which was about an hour away. So my wife and I, we took him to that hospital, and they admitted him. And my wife and I waited for about 2, 3 hours, and they said, you can go. We were not allowed in the hospital. We were just sitting outside in the parking lot with our masks on. So we went back home, and then later that night when we were home, we were watching a lot of videos about this liver shunt and trying to understand what it means and what are the potential uh, treatments for it. So we must have watched so many videos, and so on. Sure, my wife was also very much attached to Neo. We said, we're not going to sit home. Let's go to the hospital. Even if we have to sit outside, we'll sit outside. And the kid said, oh, we want to come too. And then, so we all drove, and it was 10 p.m. So during that time, as we were going through it and we were trying to make sense of everything, a lot of information obviously we didn't understand. It all came to us so quickly. And then obviously came the news around 1:30 at time frame when doctors said, he's not responding to anything. Um, it's time to say bye. The thing is, like in scenarios like this, you realize how resilient kids are. I think we might assume that they won't be able to deal with these scenarios and situations, unexpected situations. Though they were crying, very upset, my oldest son said to us, um, I think we should let him go, and let him relieve him from his suffering. So that was the day. I something kind of happened to all of us, I mean, especially I was. trying to hold myself. And COVID didn't help either. As I said, we were all disconnected from the world. Slowly, we have all recovered. But then over time, I thought about what I can do to channel this experience, the trauma that we all experience, into something positive. So I started writing all over again and started creating videos, especially for related to the dogs. And I think every video I create now on my blog, it's you will see there is a dog in it. And whenever I write, actually, our new dog, the rescue from Alabama, Billy, is by my side when I'm writing these blogs and creating videos. One thing I also decided a few years ago that I have to do something about pet care. And that's when I started thinking about all different scenarios that we have experienced. And one of that scenario that I'm going to share with you is about what we experienced as we went through watching all the videos and trying to make some sense out of it. Not just the situation that as a pet parent we face, even in the families with patients. They go through same scenarios, means trying to make sense of situations that we don't understand. And so what I'm going to share with you, it's a proof of concept. And it came out of the situation as I described, as we were watching all these videos and trying to read the contents, trying to read the medical reports. Can we simplify it for people like us who don't understand much of the medical stuff, because I'm not a doctor, not a vet? Is there a way to summarize that in a simple language for anyone to understand? So instead of watching hours of videos, for example, and some of the videos we watched were like 30 minutes, 15 minutes. And I think when you are already in that state of mind, I think you are probably not paying even attention what's going on. And even the medical reports we were seeing, we weren't able to understand a lot of it. And we were trying to infer, like, is there any other alternative? Like, is there anything else we could do? So I will walk you through, just give me 1 second. I'll start to share my screen with you. All right, so I'm going to walk you through this program that I wrote in Python using Jupyter Notebook. This is a pretty decent platform available from Google that anybody can use to write programs. It's pretty good in the sense that um, it's it's SaaS solution, so you don't have to install it on your computer, and you can pretty much take it anywhere, access it from anywhere. And the beauty of it is it's free. If you're testing out something, if the proof of concept, and unless you go into very complex programming and complex model development, you should be okay to test it out. Anything that you're writing and any proof of concept using this platform, you don't have to go anywhere else for now. Once you get into more complex programming and when you need more computing power, you can always get buy a plan from Google Colab to meet those needs. So this program, the proof of concept that I mentioned earlier, where the program reads the video file, extracts text out of it, and then that text is used by OpenAI, ChatGPT, GPT-4.4 model, large language model, as a prompt to create summary of what's in the video. And then it also prompts you, do you want to translate that summary into any language, whether it's Spanish or French or English or any other language you want? So that's what this program will do. And then after you have provided the language you want it to translate into, it will convert uh, uh, that text into an audio. And that audio will be in the language that you selected. So for example, if your video is in English and you want to convert that into Spanish, it will go through that process. And in the end, the summary, very short summary on the video will be in Spanish. So that's what this program is going to do. And the reason I created this program, as I mentioned, as we were watching all these videos and as we were trying to get make sense out of it, um, can we create something simple where we don't have to go through the entire content of like hours of videos and reading through hours of literature or medical reports, like in our case for Neo. What if I have an app or I have a solution where I feed all this information and it just pops out the summary, the key points I need to know, and that helps me decide faster and learn faster, especially in scenarios when which are very unexpected. That what happened with us with in Neo's case, we were not educated, I think, and it all just happened very sudden, and we were not in the state of mind to comprehend all of this information that was coming our way. Well, and the other part to it, I think, when I was thinking about this concept, I believe this can be very well applied to any domain, any area where uh, quick summary is needed, and in terms of understanding what's in the video or what's in the content, and create a very precise summary and actions which can be taken off it. This is only on videos. I also have another program that I've written is called Second Opinion, where it can read through the medical reports of your dog or pet, and it'll also read the diagnosis. It will also read through all the medicine, any prescription given by the vet, and then based on the results, there can be lab reports also part of the medical reports. It will suggest, okay, well, the vet is suggesting this, you may also want to look into this, some alternative like second opinion. That will be second video I will create. So for now, let's just focus on the video. Yes, I just sorry, the program that I just created, which extracts data, text out of the video and creates an audio in the chosen language. So so this program, as any program when you write on Google Colab, is divided into cells. And that's Jupyter Notebook. Actually, that's how you write programs on it. And the good thing about that is like each of these cells can be executed individually, which I like because that way you can debug cell by cell. So if I write my entire code in one cell, that means my entire code, my program will run before I could know where the problem is. So here, let's go through this step by step. So first cell that you're seeing on the screen is nothing but installing the packages. So a Python program comes with standard libraries and everything. And if you want to extend its capabilities, for example, let's say you want to extend capabilities to data science or building AI models, so there are specific packages and libraries that you can install. So you're just extending the capabilities of the program. So here what I'm doing, I'm adding packages so that I can do some speech recognition, and I can use some of the libraries to edit the video. And as I mentioned, it can also extract text out of the videos. It can create audios out of that video. Very standard stuff. So there's pretty standard libraries which are available now where you can manipulate the video and you can try to understand what's in it and try to get the information out of it. You can separate audio from text and video from audio and all that kind of. There are a lot of things you can do. And the most important part, I would say, the important package here is OpenAI that I'm installing. And that's where you are connecting to ChatGPT, large language model. And why I'm doing that, it's because once you have extracted the text out of it, you need large language model to understand the text and then summarize it into very simple to understand text, which anybody can understand. So that's where this particular package will come handy. And you will see like how I've used it. So there I've created an API call to it. and there is an API keys and everything that you will see as I walk you through the program. And then the last package, GTTS, this is again extending the capabilities to Google functions. So there is speech to, sorry, text to speech conversion when I'm creating an audio. That's where it's coming handy there. So let's run through this. I'm going to run this program. So it's running right now. Well, I already ran it a couple of times. That's why you're seeing some of the log showing up here, but now it's installing all the packages. It'll take some time, maybe a few seconds. And then while it's doing that, I will bring you to this. And this is, so for this proof of concept, I'll be using Google Drive. So I'll be installing a Google Drive from where it'll be reading the data. And data is the video file that we want to understand and create the summary for. So yeah, it's done. So let me now install this Google Drive. So I'm going to use this Google Drive that I use for testing these proof of concepts. So it's installing the Google Drive. It's nothing but the drive that I've created for Open Ovation. So it's done. So now it can read my drive, and this is the drive I'm talking about. And the file I'm going to use for testing the proof of concept is this. And if I can quickly share what this file contains. So this is one of the video I created.
We often hear the advice, follow
and
your passion.
it's
But what
about
if true
trusting your
fulfillment
energy.
comes from something more
It's also
profound?
on my Google.
Passion may ignite a spark, but
So
energy
we will just
keeps the
use this
flame
short
alive
video.
through
It's
life's
about
ups and
2 minutes,
downs.
12 seconds long.
Think of ordinary
Read
people
through
who
this
found their
video.
calling not by chasing fleeting excitement, but by harnessing the
So when you
quiet,
read this video,
persistent energy
extract
that
text out
kept
of
them
it,
moving forward.
and then
A teacher
create an audio, short audio in the language we chose. So let's go back. So here, now this is my main program. So this is where entire code is going to be running, and it's all in one cell here, all the way down. I'll just highlight few areas. So there are multiple functions I have written. So one is function where it's extracting audio from the video. And even before we go there, let me share a little bit more on it. So you're seeing some import functions here. And this import function is nothing but they're relying on the packages we installed earlier. So these are some of the modules which become available to the program as it runs. And as you can see, so I'm calling specific functions and modules from their libraries so that they become part of my program. So when my program is looking for specific functions, it knows where to go. So that it's as simple as that. So you can see I'm just importing few functions here for me to use for my program. And here, that's where you're seeing something called API call OpenAI.API key. So this is the key I created, and this is how when you have to make API connections, API calls to your large language models. In our case, GPT-4 you have to have an API created, a key created. And here, this key is very much visible. Well, you can copy it, but I've just created it for demo, and I will delete it once I'm done the demo. So a couple of things. So these are all the functions that I've written. So it's simple enough, and they're written step by step, like what's happening. So first is extracting audio out of video, and then audio from audio, we're extracting text. So this function is doing that. And then this is the call made to the GPT model, GPT-4 So you see that here. This is the model I'm using for interpretation. So once we have collected what's in the text, what's in the video, and what text has we gotten out of the video, we feed that we feed that text into the GPT model. So that becomes the prompt. And the prompt says, summarize the following text briefly, focusing on key points. So this text contains the entire content derived out of the video. What we're telling the GPT model, GPT-4 o, please take the entire text as is, and then come up with a very short summary of the key points that are easy to understand. And in our case, well, I'm using a different kind of video, but let's say somebody's watching a video on liver shunt, like in our case, what happened to Neo, and somebody is trying to understand the core concept, like core, what is, just trying to understand what does this liver shunt mean, what are the treatments available, and what medicines are there surgeries possible. In Neo's case, surgery was not even an option at that point. It was too late for us. So when response comes back to you from GPT-4 model, it will highlight all of those points. And you can make this prompt as personal as possible. So you can say, okay, also add some um, uh, potential medicines available, or treatments available, surgery options available in your summary. So you can do all of that. And so this is what it's doing. It's returning back with a summary, and then in step 4, it's just one more feature we added where you're translating the text into the language that probably a preferred language for the user or somebody who is using this application. It can be any language, French, English, Spanish, Hindi, any language. And so that's all what's it's going on here. So what will happen? GPT-4 model is called again here, GPT-4 o, and you can see I'm calling model again, and all it's doing is just translating this text again into the selected language. Once that is done, that text, which is now translated into the language I selected, will be converted into an audio for anybody to understand. Well, you can stop right here too. You can just say, okay, I'm done. I have the summary, and it's in my preferred language. I can read it. But I took a step forward where now you can generate an audio too. Sometimes audios are also a good way to communicate faster and easy to understand. And this audio will be in the language you selected. So if you see this program, it's divided into actually a few areas, and like on the major part of it obviously is about manipulating the image, manipulating the video, and trying to derive the information out of it. The second part to it is where that information is fed to your large language model. And that's where the beauty start to come in. And a lot of solutions are coming up in that domain because that's what generative AI is today. Now think about it, like when you already extracted the text and now you're using LLM model here. What if before this prompt goes to LLM model, I can also start to insert some another data into it, some information that I might have. For example, there might be some research papers on liver shunt already available somewhere in the database. I can start to bring those here, and that will make my summary even more enriching. So the response going to get, it will be very personalized, and I more meaningful information I'm going to get that I can act on. Well, for general public, you probably don't have to go into those research papers and all that, but think about it like, can this help vets? Probably can. Can it help lab technicians, or can it help um, vets who are working or assisting vets in the hospitals, in the in the hospital settings? So there is so much you can do with this information now. And this, as I said, this is just a proof of concept, and there's a lot that can be built on it. So this, I'll call it, even not even, I won't even call it iteration 1. It's iteration 0. where you are laying the foundation for the concept and you can pretty much build on it. So, so this is it. So let's run this program and you will see what's going on. So it's basically, this is where we're feeding in, um, this is where, let's be scroll a little bit down. So this is the main program and that's where it starts to execute. And let's get on it. So I'm going to run it now. So ignore the warning. There is a way you can actually ignore these warnings so they don't show up. For this program, it won't matter. So now it's asking me to enter the path of the video file. So the file I told you about is this file, Trust Your Energy. And path to that file is here. So I'm going to copy and paste here. And I'm going to translate that into English. So, and we are using code as of now, the language code. And then even for audio, I'm telling my program, yeah, please use English. So now the program is running. And it'll take a few minutes to finish. Yeah, and as I said, this is a free version of Google Colab that I'm using. And that's why you're seeing the speed is not that great, but it does the work. Means when you have built this program, you have added more features to it, you can always go for a better computing power. So that's always an option later. So yeah, the program is done executing. And as you can see, this is the file created by my program, and it's putting it back to my folder on my Google Drive, the InnoHack folder. So if I go back to InnoHack, you can see it has created this file. So summary underscore audio, trust your energy in English, MP3. So let me see if I can play this file.
The text argues that while following one's passion is often advocated, enduring success and fulfillment come from a deeper, persistent energy that drives people forward, even in tough times.
So this is good enough. So it created an audio file in English as I requested it to do. Let's try something else again. So let me see, can I create another file in different language? So I'm going to use the same file, same video file as input, trust your energy. And let's say I'm going to use French now. So it will go through the same process all over again, executing line by line, calling GPT-4 model for analysis and summarizing the content and then translating that into French, and then creating an audio which is also going to be in French. So, and at the bottom, you can see it's telling me how long it's taking to execute. So it's almost 1 minute and 1 second as of now. Okay, so it created another file, and this is the name, and it appended FR for French towards the end. So now we should have two files, one in English, one in French. And one problem I'm already seeing here, you see it's saying park when it's actually spark, SPARK. It's probably my accent, the way I said it. So it's reading as park. But you're getting the idea. The proof of concept can be improvised, and it all depends like how you want to use it, how you build on it. And so you can see I've created two files now. So if I go back now, you see there are two files, one in English and one in French. So if I click on this,
Le texte met
It's
en
an audio
avant
file.
l'idée que, bien que suivre sa passion soit souvent encouragé, c'est l'énergie soutenue qui vous pousse vraiment à traverser les défis de la vie. Il souligne que l'énergie durable, plutôt qu'une
Okay. So yeah, well, I don't understand French, but I hope it's translating it to the gist of the video file. Trust your energy. This video is on my YouTube channel. So that these are some of the content I create. And so yeah, I mean, I think this is the idea. So this is a proof of concept. So think about it, like, I mean, what are the possibilities out there? And as I was mentioning to you, this is another program. I'm almost done writing it. Actually, I already tested it, and I'm using our other dog, Bailey. So my wife found her from Alabama, and she went through some medical problems recently, and there's some medical reports. So I'm using her medical reports to understand them a little bit better. So trying to see what else is possible. So there's some lab reports, some blood work that was done on her. But she was going through some skin issue, and then I'm using that PDF files, those PDF files, to get the summary out of it, and then also using that to look into the alternative treatments, alternative medicine. Are there some holistic medicines available, which is also a very good way to treat pets? And there were a lot of stuff out there. I was amazed what I found. And again, I'm using LLM model, and think about it again, like when you start to bring in some specialized research, or what's going on in the clinical trials on the dogs, or like what's out there, you will be more informed and more prepared to take care of your pet and of your dog. And in our case, I think what I realized, I think, wish we knew earlier what was going on with our dog Neo. There were no signs, unfortunately. I think we could have looked for something, but even doctors said there was nothing you could have done. But I was not satisfied with the answer that we could have done something. I think it was a congenital disease. He had it at when he was born. There should have been something happening in his blood work that we could have noticed. And so that was the idea there. And what I feel, there's a lot that can be done in this domain. And I will continue to actually find some meaningful ideas in that domain, and hopefully dive on one of them myself to make an impact. Why I'm creating all these videos, especially for pets care, is just for anyone to pick on this idea. They're free. I mean, I'm sharing it publicly. Please pick these ideas and build on it. And if you want to discuss, you want to consult, you want to understand what my thought process was on it, I'm more than happy to share. And as I said, I love innovation. It doesn't matter where it comes from. And I'm sure like what we're building here, like what I've shown here, it might spark some creativity somewhere um, among you. And if it benefits the pets we'd love, then please. Um, all right. Thank you so much. Hopefully I will share more on it later. I'm trying to create one video every week now, but let's see how that goes. Thank you. Bye.